And we're back. This episode of Economics, transgender hate mail, homosexual hate mail, atheist hate mail. Basically, me reacting to a bunch of screen caps on YouTube and DeviantArt. There are responsive comments I make against these deviant lifestyles and a few other things. Trigger warning: if you don't like what I'm saying, go ahead and click off the video. Do not lie and say there's hate speech for my videos, because there is no hate speech for my videos. It's feature hate. That's a different story. Let's continue on with people getting things wrong in the comment sections and me trying to hit them out with Bible verses and basic biology, and then we need to talk about that. Where were we? Oh yeah, yeah. Suicide Squad. Powerful sway. A Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League fan. Basically saying, oh, there's really a lot of hate for the game because these Arkham fans like it. Seems right to me. Most likely because he loves his Fortnite. Because that's basically pretty much not as good Fortnite. A lot of Fortnite stuff going on there. But no, that's right. That game was not a good game. In a lot of ways, they really shouldn't have done that. What they did in there, what I'm saying. Basically, if you had the Justice League be the main characters, it would have done a lot better. Then, even if it's the same similar control schemes, but yeah, I would have hated the story still. A better story. Have the Justice League maybe get basically captured, or some of them get captured or something, different places. Again, in the city, if you had a whole city, you could have different places that the Justice League called home. Justice League members were hanging out in, trying to take over. And they'd be like, hey, you have henchmen that are basically like the Justice League. They were Justice League members. You have Flash henchmen that are fast, harder to see or more invisible. Melee focused henchmen for Batman, other things like that, Green Lantern henchmen, things like that. It would have been way better. But now they decided to just have you fight them. It was weird. And kill them because they don't like them. That's how it was. So it was not right. And now then they started the blame game because it's like, oh wait, no, we this thing that we made, this obvious diaper, that the sweet baby was wearing, that's not ours. That was Stephen Hill and Jamie Walker's. Something that's not the same at all. So bad. So yeah, it didn't work, and people were angry at me. It was let's go. Someone says, glad someone is shedding light to this. Ever since the news was revealed, the entire narrative of heaven gets changed every 5 seconds. Yeah, but it's wrong when it's saying that Stephen Hill and Jamie Walker wanted a live service game like this, wrote a story that is like flies in the face of the very story they wrote earlier. Batman retired in Batman Arkham Knight. With the Nightfall Protocol, okay, he basically became Batman full time. Bruce Wayne was killed, looked like he died and killed, so he did Batman. The Nightfall Protocol. That's what he did, So he could be Batman full time whenever he wanted to be. So I'm sorry, semi-retirement. There should be a game coming out now that should be Battle for the Cowl, because now you need a new Batman, because the other Batman is sometimes will go out, will use his fear toxin to scare criminals, but now he's not as active anymore or something. He could not as active. He could definitely be more hidden. It would be great. You have Nightwing, Jason Todd. Someone can, basically you have Cassandra Cain come in. You have Batwoman. Damian Wayne. Who knows? You can even get Barbara Gordon to Star Labs and get her spine fixed or whatever. Like whoever fixes her spine, you can figure that out so she can be Batgirl again. There's ways to do things, but they didn't do any of that stuff. So they made a Justice League hate fiction game. And it's just like nah. But let's continue on here. What's this? Really cool information that I didn't know about. That's wrong. I wish things could have been different. I do too, because that stuff was horrible. Continue. We have Pinocchio lying and with Jiminy with the CD, his nose all extended. Jiminy Cricket is standing on his nose, wagging his finger at him, and Pinocchio's like, Let's go here. Pregnancy, hate mail part 1. Okay, this is some sad stuff right here. And I say it's perfectly natural to be intimidated by pregnancy. It is a huge change for a person's life, and all kinds of things can go wrong. Woman's life, whatever things can go wrong. But as intimidation should be balanced by the fact that pregnancy is also perfectly natural. That's how the human race reproduces, and as ugly as it is, as it can be, it is an part of life. Also, it's not meat bag, it's worm baby. Vader's them. XD. And so it says, I call them small gurgle monkeys, XD. And I say, that works too. I'm like, okay, XD. You know, someone says, "There's life in there." Quote says, "There's life in there." Like, exactly, that's what scares me. A human growing inside of the human doesn't sound pretty, like, but it is awesome. How? It happens everywhere with every other creature. Why would it be awesome? Because it's better to be way to reproduce than laying eggs or something. Boy, you're trying to tell me that hatching an egg wouldn't be awesome? Ways, no. Oh yes, I still have to make this. This is a picture of Raz's mother from Psychonauts 2, hugging Raz tightly. And I'm like, okay, this is fun. It's very silly. Of course, she'd be very clingy mother. But here's the problem. You know, that girl's chest looks like a man's chest. You know, she's in a swimsuit type outfit. That girl's chest looks like a man's chest. It's flat as a board. Okay, now here's the issue. Certain characters, like Lily or somebody like that, they're pretty young. You know, the girls are pretty young. Yeah, they haven't quite finished developing yet. Then you have the teenage girls; they're a bit more developed. You know, they're more grown up, and but you know, so it's a little different with them. But you have these full-grown women, full-grown women. You know, who have man chests. You know, and this is an issue here because you have someone who is basically had 5 children. She had Dion, Raz's older brother, Frazee, Raz's older sister, who needs her own game. Raz, Martala, or Rings as I like to call her, because she has ring hair, and Queepy, little baby dude, little baby bro. Okay, she has had 5 children. Okay, usually when a woman has a lot of children, stuff happens. Okay, usually. The issue is if there's nothing there, yeah, then basically that could mean mastectomy. But there's no mention of anything. You know, the girl just looks like that. That's a horrible design choice in my opinion. Yeah, at least Frazee had some type of a thing, shawl over her chest, so it's like, okay, she's covering up, but trying to be more modest. But yeah, the mom does not have this. The mom is older, okay, than Frazee is. She's had more kids. I don't know if Frazee had no kids, but the mom definitely has. So that was effed up. I did not like this. I'm going to use this. The woke war against women. Terrible stuff. Let's go. Rick and Morty clip hate mail, part 1. I said that could be a guy or a girl's life, depending on the guy or girl. Frowny face. It's a man. Look at the way his arm is and the life. I said they use the words a guy's life, so instead a guy or girl could have a life like that. I saw it as a guy, was a guy, but I had issue with the description. Emoji. So he had a much better life than many people in the planet. The fact that he not have any long-lasting trauma to go through college and manage to do his dream job is amazing. Oh, the video game. There was a video game. Okay, in Rick and Morty, Rick took Morty to like an interstellar arcade, and then he put him on this virtual reality. Put him in this virtual reality game. He's like, yeah. He's like, well, what game do you want me to play, Rick? And it's like, oh, this one right here. Okay, yeah. It's like something like life simulator, some type of life simulator, or something like that. He's like, put him in the VR headset. Like, put this VR headset on. Let's go. So he puts the VR headset on. All of a sudden, he's like a kid, looking up at his family or whatever, and then he's going through different things in life, and eventually, it's like, he gets cancer. He basically becomes a football star. Gets cancer. Or hurts his leg, goes to a carpet dealership, his father's carpet dealership, for a job, then basically gets cancer, gets over the cancer, and then goes back to the carpet dealership and he basically hangs out there until when he's trying to climb up high to find something, he falls off a ladder and dies, and then it's like, oh, game over. It's like, oh, Morty's like, what happened, what's going on? It was so immersive. He's like, thought it was real. He's like, oh, what happened, what's everything, what happened, what's going on here? And he's like, man, Morty, what did you do? You went back to the carpet, your dad's carpet dealership, carpet store after all that stuff. You could have done something else, man. What the? He's like, what? That was the game. I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing, So yeah, that was really cool. So yeah, I was like, that was a crazy guy or girl's life, And someone's like, well, it was a guy though. And like, yeah, but it could have been a guy or girl who could live a life like that. But depending, that's it was still a crazy life. I didn't like the description, of the video, the short, I guess. So you have this pretty cool RPG character creator here for superheroes. You have 3 different character types, but they're not really, small and medium are not really that different. Large is definitely different though. See you guys next time. Check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt.